I'm Liz Faublas, and this is Currents. Happy Thanksgiving. This is a day for reflection during a time of trouble, and this is a day to thank God for bringing good out of evil. Bishop DiMarzio, the leader of our Diocese of Brooklyn and Queens, celebrated Mass this morning in the Rockaways at St. Rose of Lima Church. The neighborhood was devastated by Hurricane Sandy, yet they have worked together, restoring their lives, and just days ago they reopened their school. Bishop DiMarzio was on hand to welcome the students back to the classrooms, and he found them to be so happy at the chance to return to school. And they are not alone. In neighborhood after neighborhood, good men, women, and children are working together and through their churches to help and to rebuild. Meantime, Cardinal Timothy Dolan is repeating the message of Jesus, be not afraid. The Archbishop of New York is praising Catholic Charities for the help they've provided to all of our wounded neighborhoods and thanking God for bringing good out of evil, since, as the Cardinal said, not even the winds or the waves can destroy our hope in Him. We have not been destroyed, nor will we be, but much work over much time lies ahead. For one New York City police sergeant, getting there will be a test of faith.
Well, I left when the storm was beginning, and I realized it was going to be a little bit as serious as they were predicting. I left, I went to a friend's house who kept me for the night. I returned the next morning, and I saw there was definitely evidence of the devastation that occurred here. And as I walked up to the house, there was about a little more than 3 feet of water in front of my house. And when I walked up to it, I saw the walls had been taken down by, I guess, nature. I put in a claim through my insurance company when it first happened, and I did contact FEMA. I haven't heard from them, but I anticipate that's because there's families that are far worse off than I am. So it's expected. They need help first. Our Lady of Lourdes. So we've had service there. We had service there on Sunday, so the parish is up and running. The Friendship Club is what's run on the first floor. They had the most damage. The Friendship Club is for older senior citizens, and that's wiped out. Concern about those people getting back here because they need that. Friends and family have been very, very supportive. Co-workers, friends at work have been very cooperative, very helpful. People that are complete strangers, we've had nothing but people walking through here asking us if they could help, asking us if we would like supplies, water, food, gloves, anything you can think of. The people have been very, very supportive. It's actually, nice to see that kind of support. People come from all over the place. I've met people from everywhere that made the trip up here to see what they can do to help. That's amazing to me. I work for the New York Police Department. I am a sergeant. I work in Manhattan, in Chinatown. The police department is very supportive, with anything that they could offer, they did. They allowed me to take off when other police officers and personnel are working 12-hour tours. They allowed me to stay here and take care of my business, so I'm very appreciative of that. They've been nothing but good. I'm staying in a friend's hunting camper that I brought in from upstate and I put on the property. And I'm trying to get that set up so I can be near my property, so hopefully when I begin to rebuild, I'm right here. You always got to look around and see what's around you, to give you a little bit of boost. A lot of people are really, worse off. So this is, to me, not a big deal. From my end, they need help.
He really is a remarkable man of faith. Up next, religious freedom and national security as Currents continues after the break. Welcome back to Currents. I'm Liz Faublas. Our cherished American freedoms are things to be especially thankful for on this day. Brought into sharp focus this year, religious freedom and liberty. Now a leading diplomat is saying the protection of religious freedom worldwide is so important that it should be a matter of national security. Tom Farr, the first director of the State Department's Religious Freedom Office, says protecting religious freedom permits economies to develop and democracies to emerge and should have a more prominent place in American foreign policy. The suppression of religion was at the core of the Soviet Union, churches quieted by the power of the state, leaving people, especially the young, thirsting for direction and for dignity.
In the Eastern Europe, we feel that each time when between the church and the political power there is some sort of intermarriage, the credibility of that church is also very weak. But 20 years ago, almost all churches were silent in the former Soviet Union. And especially youth, young people, were looking towards some solid directions, something authentic. And because the Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church, especially in the time of the Soviet period, was the largest group of the social opposition, our church, in the eyes of the young people, looked very credible, very authentic. Only after the fall of communism, we could manifest our Christian identity into the social and the public way. But basically, I would say that maybe because of that experience of disregard of the human dignity, maybe because so many years that dignity was oppressed, people were looking for that kind of oasis of the human dignity inside of the church communities. And today I would encourage each Christian not to be afraid of those external limitations. And different sort of the external limitation will come. But the most danger, I would say, is it in us. If we are losing our faith and we separate ourselves from God by the sin, we are losing our inner freedom.
So that we may make our faith even stronger, Pope Benedict has declared a year of faith, running until next November, intended to bring about a new evangelization.
In our secularized world, faith often seems difficult to justify. We are faced with a practical atheism, a tendency to think and live as if God did not exist. Yet once God is removed from our lives, we become diminished, for our greatest human dignity consists in being created by God and called to live in communion with Him. As believers, we need to offer convincing reasons for our faith and hope. We can find such reasons in the order and beauty of the creation itself, which speaks of His creature, in the longing for the infinite presence in the human heart, which finds satisfaction in God alone, and in faith, which illumines and transforms our lives through our daily union with the Lord.
Up next, remarkable scenes in the sky, balloons, UFOs, and the eruption of the sun as Currents continues after the break. Thanksgiving Day in our area is always notable for the Macy's Parade. This year, some new characters floated over the heads of the parade watchers. Hello Kitty, Elf on the Shelf, and Papa Smurf are new balloons being introduced this year and seen here being prepared for the parade in New Jersey. The balloons fly over a parade route that is more than 2 miles long. Well, flying high over the mile-high city of Denver, Colorado are some strange objects that have many people talking.
It's not a bird.
Get going up and up and up.
It's not a plane.
Here it's flipping around.
Even this aviation expert is mystified.
I can't identify it.
We first learned about these strange sightings when this metro area man, who does not want to be identified, brought us his home video.
You're gonna see a little burst of fire right there, kind of a thruster.
He captured the images on his digital camera from a hilltop in Federal Heights, looking south towards downtown Denver.
Mile High is right about here.
He says the flying objects appear around noon or 1 p.m. at least a couple of times a week.
You're gonna see it come in from the top, Do a little loopy-doop.
The strangest part is they are flying too fast to see with the naked eye. This is the video in real time.
Poof, see it? That was it.
But if you slow it down frame by frame, it's there. We altered the color contrast to help you see it. Here's another one in real time. This is what it looks like slowed down. We wanted to verify that the video we saw was legit, so our photojournalist came out here with his camera. He set up in the same spot on 84th and Federal, and he shot video from just before noon until just after 1. And when we slowed down our photographer's video, we saw this flying object.
I would consider myself an expert.
Aviation expert Steve Cowell is a former commercial pilot, instructor, and FAA accident prevention counselor.
It's very strange.
He thought he would have a logical explanation until he watched the video.
That is not an airplane. That is not a helicopter. Those are not birds. I can't identify it.
Cowell told us he knows of no aircraft that flies as fast.
Because of the speed of the object, most people, I think, would miss it.
Cowell did say there is one other possibility.
Perhaps there's some sort of debris that's being raised up by some of the atmospheric winds.
But in his professional opinion,
as it fits the definition, it's an unidentified flying object.
The FAA tracks all air traffic in Colorado and across the country. The FAA sent us a statement saying, "We've checked with air traffic control and no one has had any reports of the activity you describe, nor have any of our employees observed anything of this nature either visually or on their radar displays." The North American Aerospace Defense Command is located in Colorado Springs. It keeps an eye on the skies in case of an air attack against the U.S. NORAD sent us this statement. Our command center reviewed their records and they did not have any noted air activity in the Denver area during the times you indicated.
There's the smokestack.
The man who first brought this to our attention believes the UFOs are launching and landing near 56th and Clay in Denver. A map shows only homes in the area. So is it a UFO, a secret military test, floating debris? The answer is anything but clear. It appears to be a mystery in the sky, a mile high.
And even higher up in the sky, the sun. And in this video, we see a monster eruption of super hot plasma gases during a solar storm. A NASA spacecraft captured those pictures. In the lower left, the red plasma erupts and blasts out of frame, and it shoots from the sun. The scientists say the eruption does not appear to be aimed at Earth, so we'll see little effect beyond these pretty remarkable pictures. Well, the wonders of science are certainly a gift for which we all may be thankful, and for one young woman, the thanks comes after 4 years of hoping.
One beautiful smile tells the tale. Carolina Hatton was paralyzed from the waist down coming home from the 2009 Orange Bowl game in Florida. A cruel car accident took away her ability to walk. New technology is giving her hope.
I've been in a wheelchair for close to 4 years now, and standing up straight and walking without putting so much strain on my body is just amazing.
This wearable robot was developed by Exobionics. Cincinnati's Drake Center is now one of only 20 facilities in the world where you can find it. Carolina was the first person to give it a test run here, as others, dreaming to walk again, watched her every move.
It feels really nice to be up. It's kind of nerve-wracking having everybody here.
The $140,000 device allows the physical therapist to program things like speed and step length. It also gives patients the ability to shift their weight, and when they're able to balance comfortably, they can actually initiate their own steps.
It means the world to me.
Something else on Carolina's mind? Wanting to just be a regular mom to her 4-year-old son.
One of my dreams is just to stand up and be able to hold him. And with the EXO I still have faith and hope that I can still do that.
And coming up next, Thanksgiving and the Bishop of Brooklyn, as Currents continues. Welcome back. On Saturday, Pope Benedict will induct 6 men into the College of Cardinals, 6 new princes of the Church coming from Africa, Asia, Latin America, and North America. Observers say the new cardinals reflect the Pope's desire that, quote, the Church is a church of all peoples and speaks in all languages. Latin is the language that dominated the celebration of Mass for centuries, and as we see now, that traditional Mass forms the centerpiece of a celebration of the Pope's Year of Faith.
I think this pilgrimage is a wonderful opportunity for those who love the extraordinary form to demonstrate that that love is not something which isolates them or separates them from the general life of the Church, but that this is something which they love because it is part of the life of the Church.
L'évangélisation, ça se fait par la bouche, ça se fait par le catéchisme, surtout le catéchisme aujourd'hui, les explications, etc. Puis on amène les gens à la prière, et la principale prière de l'Église, c'est la messe, ce sont les sacrements. Et alors là, je crois que dans cette connaissance de ce qu'est la prière de l'Église, avec son sens sacré, ce sacrifice de toute l'Église à Dieu par Jésus-Christ, il me semble qu'il est particulièrement souligné par ce qu'est la messe extraordinaire, la forme extraordinaire dans son ensemble et dans la messe en particulier. L'attrait qu'ont les jeunes pour cette forme extraordinaire, c'est paradoxal, mais ils aiment cette messe extraordinaire, et notamment elle porte beaucoup de fruits de vocation. En France, c'est étonnant. Le nombre des vocations ne cesse de baisser. Il y a 700 séminaristes dans tous les diocèses de France. Ça n'a jamais été aussi bas. Et la forme extraordinaire n'est pas énorme, mais enfin, il y a quand même 130 séminaristes français. Donc vous voyez la proportion, et qui est appelée à augmenter encore. Je pense donc que c'est un signe qu'il y ait une jeunesse de la forme traditionnelle. Voilà, donc elle peut apporter cela à la nouvelle évangélisation, j'en suis persuadé.
The traditional liturgy has been a cause, unfortunately, of a great deal of division, and that people are coming together from all over the world to participate in this pilgrimage, which is principally based around the celebration of the extraordinary form, is a sign of healing. And if people don't like the extraordinary form, they should nevertheless be charitable to those who do like it, and vice versa. The Church will be able to evangelize the world much more effectively if it puts all that behind it. The liturgy should be a source of prayer and of unity in prayer for the Church.
Meantime, just in time for Christmas, the Holy Father's new book went on sale yesterday in the U.S. The Pope's focus is on Christ and his infancy. It's the third and final volume in Benedict's series on Christ. Christmas tree lights are a wonderful part of this season, and now we join some special youngsters as they turned on the lights at a special place.
And with that, thousands of lights turned on at SeaWorld for the first time this holiday season. The children who helped to light the trees are current and former patients from Rady Children's Hospital.
When your child is sick and you're in the hospital all the time and you have a place like Rady's, it's so comforting to know that you have such wonderful surgeons and doctors there, and then to have these types of events to go to afterwards when everyone's healed and healthy, it's a great feeling.
The iconic SeaWorld tree lit up the sky as the patients enjoyed a fun evening away from the hospital. For the Bartletti family, it's a stark contrast to where they were a year ago. Around Thanksgiving, Jaden was diagnosed with clear cell sarcoma of the kidney.
Especially during the holidays, you kind of feel like your spirits are down.
But the families say despite the challenges, this time of year is also magical. Events like this one at SeaWorld allow them to put the challenges aside and just love one another.
It just makes us realize what really is important, because it's family, it's friends, it's love, it's all of the gift and the charity that is really alive and well here in this community, and we just feel so fortunate now to be a part of it.
SeaWorld's annual tree lighting celebration is the first of many holiday events getting underway in San Diego. The always popular Skating by the Sea will open at the Hotel del Coronado November 21st. And the unforgettable December nights at Balboa Park will take place December 7th and 8th. Ready or not, the holiday season is here.
Well, perhaps the best way to conclude our program on this Thanksgiving Day is with the Bishop of Brooklyn. For this special edition of Into the Deep, Bishop DiMarzio sat down with our news director, Ed Wilkinson.
Bishop DiMarzio, thanks for being with us this Thanksgiving Day weekend. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Being members of the media, or I'm a member of the media, sometimes we dwell on bad things, you know, and you know
right
that.
There.
But there's some
confession is good for the soul.
There's some good things happening, and there are things we should be thankful for. What, as a church here in Brooklyn and Queens, can we be thankful for this year?
Well, I think the year of faith, you know, makes us recognize the faith that is here. Going out to the various parishes, it's so clear people have tremendous faith, and it's an inspiration to go and listen to people and see how they practice their faith. So that's something I'm really thankful for.
And of course, some of the programs that we have in process now, we have Christ Jesus Our Hope and Preserving the Vision. They seem to be bearing fruit now. Are these things that we can be thankful for, and where are we with those programs?
Well, I think we're very fortunate that they have borne fruit. We look to the Preserving the Vision, the schools, under the direction of Bishop Caggiano, Dr. Chizuko, really, and the committees, a lot of people work on this. We'll have almost 30 academies by the end of the year. Some of the first formed academies now are bursting at the seams. They want permission to put portable classrooms up. They haven't got enough room. It shows that when you have lay leadership and a new vision and that changes things, it works. And we're hopefully not having to close any other schools, perhaps combining some where we need to do so. But really, it is a major turnaround that we've experienced. And when it comes to the parishes, Christ Jesus Our Hope, we look and we see that parishes may still need to be combined. We finished the process. It doesn't seem like there's too many more combinations, but people have strategic plans they have to complete, and then when they're finished, if they work, we probably don't have too many more combinations. If they don't, we might have to do some more. But in general, it gave everybody a focus, learning how to stay in budget, how to be able to accomplish their mission. It was really to give them a mission to accomplish, and then to do that with a reasonable budget.
Sure. With all the talk these days about church and state and the separation, this Thanksgiving Day seems to be a time when we can agree on something, that we should give thanks, and we do talk about God. This is almost like a secular holy day, isn't it?
It really is, and there's unfortunately some trying to diminish that. Some will not celebrate it, but it is as close you're going to get to a secular religion, very foundations of our country that were, based on religious freedom. I mean, the Puritans came to escape persecution, and this comes back right from that time. I mean, it's our tradition that the Pilgrims had the first Thanksgiving with the Indians that were there. So we don't know exactly the origins, but that's what we believe, and that's a very powerful belief to show that there is a possibility to live in peace with everyone, to give thanks to God for that gift of peace and the prosperity.
Yeah, I know the trend in the church has not been to add on holy days, but Thanksgiving, has there ever been any talk about making Thanksgiving a holy day of obligation?
Well, yeah, I've heard it, but I don't think we're going to do that. But many people do go to Mass on Thanksgiving. It's a well-attended day, or the vigil of it, and it's something good. But it's good that it's not forced. It's something very free that people want to do.
Mm-hmm. What was Thanksgiving Day like for you as a kid?
Well, we obviously there was always church service in the morning, and big meal. That was the whole thing, you know. We really had two meals. First you had your antipasta and the pasta, and then we had the turkey and everything else. So it was a whole day of eating, actually. I don't know how you finished that up.
Yeah.
But there wasn't any lack of food.
I think a lot of people are surprised sometimes at some of these Italian traditions where it's not just turkey.
Combined it, soup and then the pasta. That was,
and it's always
because everybody knew this was the holiday to feast.
Yeah,
and you had to be thankful for what you got.
And it's a great time to bring family together, which of course is a great emphasis of the church, right? Bishop, thanks so much.
Okay, good to be
enjoy
here.
the rest of your Thanksgiving Day
weekend. We're
weekend.
going to try.
Okay.
And thank you for joining us. On behalf of all of us at Currents, I'm Liz Fablis. Please enjoy a blessed and happy Thanksgiving.